Are we going to be making a Snow White costume? No, we've already made one of those. Yeah, but like, what about the thumbnail? Like, I'm pretty certain the thumbnail and the title says something about Snow White. Aren't we making a Snow White costume? Okay, you got me. We're making a second Snow White costume. Even though most of the skirt is gone, I still have a decent amount of this blue dress, which I used for the bodice of my past Snow White costume. That red curtain, this blue sheet, which is something I've made previously in another video, but we are going to chop it up. Sheer that I got from a yard sale. Other sheer, which I got from Goodwill. That was kind of perfect that it just fell there. So it turns out this was actually a shower curtain. I also have all of these pretty ribbons in yellows, whites, blues, and reds. We probably won't need any of these, but I grabbed them just in case. And then I also have all of these fake flowers, because what's a wedding without flowers, right? So here is that enormous shift that I made in one of my first YouTube videos, and as far as I'm concerned, that video was terrible, and this doesn't really fit me, and I have no need for it. So I'm going to be chopping this up and using this for the base of the dress. I don't know if anybody else has this problem. I have a lot of trouble actually convincing myself to cut up the clothes that I get from thrift stores and repurpose them, because I just think they're pretty, or I'm worried I might have another use for them someday and then I won't have it. So I just end up hoarding them, but that's besides the point. My point is why is it so incredibly easy for me to cut up something that I actually made and put time into, but I can't cut up random ugly things from the thrift store? Cut up the shift and turned it into the underlayer, and then I took that sheer curtain that I got from the garage sale and I cut it up to make an overlayer. But like, does anybody else think that the end of the spool would be like a really good movie title or something? So now I have the outer layer of my sleeves. They look gorgeous. I'm really loving the blue and white.
Now go watch this video if you're unsure of how to make slashed puff sleeves.
And the reason there are so many pins is because I am lazy.
The proper way to keep the sheer material from coming off of the base layer would have been by base stitching around the outside, or even by making big stitches in each of the places of those pins and then removing the stitches after I'm done sewing all of the bodice pieces together. But again, lazy.
Unlike with my other Snow White costume, I was actually able to get the line down the front. I used the same kind of yarn, but this fabric was a lot thicker, so I definitely think that helped. It looks a little weird. I have my bodice front all sewn up, and I connected the back pieces, and then I have the exact same for my lining. Except that this time we're going to do everything in order.
I sewed the bodices together. I sewed on the sleeves to both of the bodices and added the boning to the lining. And then I sewed the bodices together, and then I completely abandoned my project for the next 3 days. For my sister and I went on a road trip to this place, which is in this place. They had these cool buttons made out of natural materials, and this place was very, very educational.
Hi. That's so weird.
And my sister even got to go noodling, which was a very new experience for us. Sorry that this is like a generic Makara Tours video, but you know, enjoy my sister noodling for the first time. She was skeptical.
Go back. Hi guys, so before we find the dead body, I just wanted you to know Nope, it's not.
Dubuque is also the proud owner of this sign. My sister had wanted to get a picture of it, but being the speed demon, short little Asian girl in the minivan, I drove by the sign way too fast for her to actually get a picture. But to my surprise and her delight, we were actually able to get a picture of the sign through one of the museum's windows. Also, this picture is getting pretty boring, so I'm going to switch to something more interesting. Anyway, if you were to go back and look at that picture, you would see that it's an exit sign, and it says exit, and then you would assume that there's probably a number on the right side of that sign that's kind of cut off because you can't see it in the picture. But there wasn't. Like, the sign had no number. It just said exit. Like, if you keep going, does it just become a negative number? Do the numbers start counting up from 1 again? Is there nothing more south than Dubuque, Iowa? Does the world just end? Yeah, so if anyone could, like, explain this to me ASAP, that would be great. Also, I really didn't like these snakes, but for some reason I have a lot of footage of them.
So I'm just hanging out here with the dress. It's looking super cute so far, at least the top is, but it's time to move on to the skirt, I think, because it's been 5 or 6 days and I've made no progress on the dress. So it's definitely time to move on to the skirt so I at least have something going. Basically, we have bodice right here. It's a very pure white, and there's a hair. It's a pretty pure looking white, and then it has the blue in the slits and the blue down the front, and I think that ties in really nicely together. Instead of realizing that this sheer material, which I definitely want to use for the skirt, it's kind of looking yellowish, and it could be the lighting, but I think it's definitely more of an off-white. You can see what it looks like with the white underneath it, but I don't know, it's just not really tying in with the bodice as well as I hoped it would. I really wish that I had put it in on the white parts of the sleeves, but you know, like I said, it's too late now. We'll see though, I don't know, that's just kind of like my idea. It could end up looking horrible. So I just got done filming that clip and I thought, I should change my earrings to something more diamond, you know, so it matches my little star hair clip. But I think I'm dying. That is not normal. Normal. Not normal. Normal. Death. I'm doing a similar thing that I did for my last Snow White costume. I'm going ahead and I'm taking the inside lining of the sleeve and I'm pulling it out a bit and then sewing along the sleeve. That way it kind of puffs up a little. But I'm not stuffing them this time because I'm not going for as puffy as a look, and I think this is keeping them puffy enough. We'll see. All right. So here's the bodice, and then here's the sleeve that I already pulled the lining and I sewed it and everything, and then I have the cuff here which I need to flip in and then hand sew into place. Here I have my other sleeve, the left side sleeve, and you can kind of see with the lining. I pulled it out a bit and basically pulled this up so it poofs like that. And then I'll trim all this away and then I'll go ahead and I'll add in the cuff. Yeah. Armband on this sleeve has been folded inside, almost like a rolled hem, so to say, and I just pinned it into place. I will hand sew that in a bit. And here's what it looks like beforehand. And you can also see how nice the poof of the sleeve is. Right now I'm doing the hand sewing on the arm cuffs. Well, I was doing the hand sewing on the arm cuffs. Now I'm eating Oreos. I just got done cutting out this band that I'm going to sew along the bottom of the bodice. The sheet that I'm using for the lining is a bit old and it has a pretty good stretch to it, so it kind of warped when I was sewing the ribbons in and I didn't cut the ribbons long enough. I just grabbed some scrap pieces of fabric and I sewed them around the bottom because the ribbon only went to here, and now it's kind of holding in the boning so I didn't have to just randomly chop it off, and it will hopefully be thick enough to keep boning or zip ties, cable ties, whatever, from poking through the bottom. My bias tape, so to say, is all pinned up onto the bottom of the bodice. I need to machine sew this down, flip it over, and hand sew it, and then, you know, get on to the back sides and everything, but I am hungry. So we are making lunch.
In these lovely little clips right here, you can see that I am hand sewing that bottom bit onto the bottom. And once I was finished up with that, I took the left side and the right side, aka the backs, once they're folded into the back, and I put in some extra boning, and I also added some ribbon loops so that I can lace up the back.
Guess what? I have completely finished the bodice. It's done. It's done! Yay! I mean, I could probably add in a modesty panel, but I'm not too worried about it. The inside looks really nice and clean, except for down there where I have my little Franken mess and little extra scrap pieces of fabric to keep the boning from popping through. I am loving it. It looks so good. So now we're going to move on to the skirt. I would love to do a circle skirt, but also look at my cute socks. There's Snow White little birdie bluebird socks. Ah! Anyway, I would love to use a circle skirt, but unfortunately all I have is this sheer curtain and then the rest of this shift, and it's not really enough to make a circle skirt. Plus, who even wants to hem a circle skirt? It's a pain. Cut open the shift and this is what we've got to work with.
Random audio because I don't know what to put here.
So this is folded over on itself. I'll cut it down here and then sew the ends together. Also, if I sound like I'm completely out of breath, it's because I am. I climbed all the way up onto my bed. Wait, don't I just have like a regular standard size bed on like a tiny wimpy little metal frame and a normal box spring? Yes, I do. But am I lazy? Do I not actually get exercise? Yes, that is in fact true. So at this point, I've just decided to do a gathered skirt. And I'm just gonna put in like a basic waistband. That's about it. I also am getting really bored of filming and like I haven't even sewn in 2 days because just the idea of having to film has completely killed any desire I have to actually finish this project, and it's really taking the enjoyment out of this project. It's time consuming to film every little bit. Anyway, enjoy like this fast motion of me just like sewing up some of the skirt or something. Fast motion? For real? Fast motion? I can't believe that's what I called it. I mean time lapse. Enjoy this time lapse. And also, if you really need to learn how to make a gathered skirt, watch one of my other videos, or I'm sure there's a YouTube video out there. Anyway, enjoy this time lapse. Everything's ready to go on the skirt. I got all the hand sewing of the waistband done. All I have to do is hem it and throw in a zipper. I don't want to go down to the basement to get a zipper for this, and I'm kind of lacking in white zippers. I don't think I have many left anyway. But I happened to buy something from the thrift store earlier today, and it came in this zipper pouch. It was a sheer curtain. That's the something that I happened to get from the thrift store, a sheer curtain. Anyway, and it has a zipper on it. Looks like it should be pretty easy to get all these big stitches out with my seam ripper, and then I can go ahead and put this zipper into the dress instead of just throwing this away, because this is pretty much a one-time use plastic bag that goes in the trash anyway. And now by seam ripping it out and putting it into the dress, it's going to get a second life that it was probably never ever going to have. I got the zipper out of the plastic bag, and guess what? It's a really nice zipper actually. It's a functional zipper. It works. It has plastic teeth, but it has a nice thick metal tab. Oh, it's not really zooming. How do the makeup people do it? I don't know, I don't really watch makeup tutorials, but I think this is how they do it. It's perfect. Look how cute she is. It's a T-length dress. It's adorable. I love it so much. But like I said, it is a wedding dress, so I think I want to incorporate flowers somehow. And then this bow, which I really wanted to incorporate into my original costume. I would like to add it into this dress somehow. I think that the bow on the head looks a little too childish, even though I guess Snow White got married at 14. But I'm thinking we could put this on the butt or something. It's gonna look so cute. Yeah. This project, which should have only taken about 2 days tops, maybe 3 at the very, very most, has been taking me weeks now. I think it's been 3 or 4 weeks now. But suddenly, at almost 11 p.m., creative energy has actually strucketh. So I have decided, now that the skirt is done, I don't know if you can see, there are these flowers. Yeah, you can see pretty well on camera, at least it looks like you can. And they each have a little circle dot. I have decided to take these Dollar Tree baby breaths, pull the little flowers off, and I am going to be hand sewing 1 to 2 of these, maybe double layered because they look nicer that way, onto each of those centers. Because why not?